Hello YouTube fans, here again. And as you know, we're still doing the 85 Action Marathon. That's right, 1985 Action Marathon. And I figure why not? Why not do this one? Sequel to the 1982 smash hit movie, that being First Blood. First Blood Part 2, Rambo. That's right. Now, over the years, Sylvester Stallone wasn't going to do another Rambo film. I mean, it was going to be a standalone film. It was based on a book and so on. But it was a big success. It made a lot of doss. And there was talk about what would happen if they make a sequel. What would happen if they made a sequel? So, long road, 1985, they decided, well, it took them a few years, they decided to make a sequel. Now, originally, one of the ideas was that, if you remember the ending where Rambo got arrested, they were going to do a story where he had a nervous breakdown and he was in prison, a bit like Lock Up, the famous film by Sylvester Stallone. But it was more or less him having a mental breakdown in prison. I'm kind of happy they didn't go with that story. Instead, at the time, there was a lot of these political films to do with Vietnam. I mean, we're not long after Vietnam. I mean, one year before they did this, they had Missing in Action, and they had a lot of other movies to do with Vietnam. So Vietnam at the time was still a very political war, even though it was like so many days when that war ended. So it kind of inspired Sylvester Stallone to write a script and a story for it. At the same time, he was writing a script and a story for the fourth Rambo, I mean the fourth Rocky film, being Rocky 4. He decided to write ideas and a script for this film, being Rambo First Blood Part 2. And he wanted to make this one more of an action film, unlike the original. Even though the original does have a lot of action in it, I'll give it its due, it does have a lot of action. He wants this one to be more action part, more like Super Rambo. Worked out a lot more, got more big raping muscles for the role, the lot. So let's go on with the bladding story. So you got the scene where it opens up where you do see him in like a prison, it's like a James Dang prison, and he's working out in this prison. His general, who was in the original one, comes into it and tells him about the sending these ex-soldiers to go out and look for people who are missing in action. Meaning Vietnam, there's 2 soldiers, they've been out, they've been missing, nobody knows if they're dead or alive, and he's just got to get evidence. And if he does this mission for them, it could get him out of prison. They could actually lighten his sentence or put him in a nicer prison, and he'd probably only serve 1 day, or he might just be out. And he'd get an award for bravery. And would he be interested in going on this special mission? So naturally Rambo says, yeah, I'll do it. Then he's got the beautiful opening. The scene in this is beautiful. I mean, it is beautiful. You've got all these beautiful exotic countries, really, really hot, the lot. The director that did this, who's sadly no longer with us, he directed a lot of good films when you think about it. He did, if I remember like the one day after he did this, he did Cobra, and he did another good film called Larrifin. Never seen that? Very good monster film with Peter Weller, I may add. So, yeah, he goes out anyway. You do see a few well-known characters in it. You see one guy, you might remember, the bully guy in the Karate Kid, the one that played the Totes, who was a bit of a bully. He was in Karate Kid 1, 2, and sadly to say, 3. He was also in the original Last House on the Left, one of the ones that played the blundering cops. He's in this. You get a well-known with well-known faces. You get one guy, and it's like, do you trust him, do you not trust him? And they send him out on the mission, he's going on about a war, it was a friendly war. You got it half right, but the only thing is, you got the place wronged, where this war was going on. You got it, that's where he won, where it was. So Rambo goes out. I love the bit where he gets stuck on an airplane and he cuts with his big dock-off knife. I love that scene. And he's just in the jungle. He meets this girl who you get as an ex-soldier who's there to help him. Don't forget, he's only got to take photographs. But Rambo knows what it's like. He's been a prisoner in camp. And this camp where he's taking these photos, he was a prisoner, I think in the early 70s, when they shown fastbacks in the original First Blood. That was where he's supposed to be. So he feels sorry, he sees one of them, and how these men are treated, it's just disgusting. I wouldn't even treat a dog the way these men are treated. You got one, he's just freezing, and you got a big spider timing on him. You got rats, you name it. You got one, you got an idea he might have died to escape. So his punishment is you got him hung up on this wall, and he says, "Right, I'm freeing you," and he frees him, and the door's going mad saying, "You you're supposed to take pictures," and Rambo says, "I'm not doing any more orders." And he breaks him free, and I love it. There's lots of action even before that. There's a bit where he's on a boat. There's a bit where he's shooting baddies here, there, left, right, and at centre. But he gets on this boat, he gets double tossed, but he gets the better of it. His big done. I love the bit where he says to this, to win a war, you've got to become a war. Which, funny enough, they sort of used a little bit of that in Demlins too, where Mugman had the bandana on his head. I mean, it's more comic book Rambo. And I do know one there after this, they did an animated cartoon series. So it became very popular. I mean, the same there when my dad got me a big Duck off the Mando figure. I also had a Rambo figure. That's right, this is how popular Rambo was being. And even Ronald Reagan, the president himself of the United States, even he turned around and said, "Will somebody send us a Rambo?" And this here was a bid, and I mean in 1985, this had to be the big dosing action film of the 80s. It was the biggest action film going. Yeah, it's not realistic, but in reality, do you really go into action films for realism? So yeah, he gets double tossed because they found out that they want to keep it a secret. It's all just paperwork. So they leave Rambo taxed, the girl leaves, and he gets tortured a lot in this Rambo. He gets cut, he gets stabbed, this horrible guy beats him up. He's in this big bugle, half naked, with leeches on him. You get one villain in it, and if you've seen him before, he's been in a lot of films. He was in The Taze, true story, and he was also 2 days played the villain. If you remember the movie Octopussy, he was one that played the villain in Octopussy. So they're beating him up and everything. But I love to see where they're going to make him talk. And he gets his mic and he's huge, and he says that line, "Tunnel thingy. Yes, Rambo, I'm coming to get you." Whacks the die, gets out, shoots everybody. There's a sort of a sad bit in it because his dad gets shot halfway through the film and dies. Always makes me laugh though. Dramatic acting. Oh, Rambo. I know I'm being a bit cool there, but it is the way she just overacts it. But she sadly passes away. But then I just love the bit. He gets mud all over him. He camouflages himself. That's what I love about this. This is the Rambo I miss. So I wouldn't have loved enough the later Rambo films. I wasn't. This is the Rambo I love, the comic book Rambo. He puts mud on himself and he camouflages himself. I love the shot where it pans out and it's peeing it down. It's raining, but it's got the big raping muscles. You could be the bus, it could be cheese, you could be in a mountain and you wouldn't know Rambo were there, and he just wipes all these soldiers out. Because in this one he does kill, like the first one, but the first one that can be more understandable. These coppers, they're just thick, but they're not really bad. They're only doing what the Beijing captains told them to do. In this, these are soldiers what will just shoot you and kill you. And he frees all the men. He's in the helicopter. You think Rambo's are going to be a goner. But then he gets that big fucking dock-off missile, and I love that missile. A big missile when he fires it. And I remember having that figure, and I love that. And the one thing I do love is the art-tip arrows. How can I forget that? How can I bloody forget that? Art-tip arrows, and if you fire them, it fires out and blows things up. He's blowing air the top to up with his art-tip arrows. He gets the better of the stun bag that killed his woman. Fires an art-tip arrow, and it blows him up. Got that big guy getting him by the neck. He gets the better of him, throws him to his death. And it's like I say, you think Rambo's done for. He gets that missile and he blows the baddie up, feeds all his men, and twats the one what left him in the air, the torture. But I love the bit where he gets that guy, he shoots all the machines. This is machines, and they said, "This is high-tech stuff, Rambo. Just believe it or not, he's here to protect you." And they left him. So he shoots it all up. Gets the turner what left him, who ordered it, rams that knife down and says, "Next time, I know there's more men out there. Feel, or next time I will be coming for you." And you just see he's bricking it. He really is bricking it. He's trying to talk his way out of it. I was only doing what orders was saying. I was only doing my orders, Rambo. I feel bad about this, and Rambo just doesn't give a shit. He just gets him by the jacket, throws him on the floor, whams that knife near the side of his face, misses him on purpose. Whether he did, I don't know. And just gives him a warning: don't mess with me. Then the Eternals, he's going to walk off. He says, you don't got to take you back. He says, I'm leaving. He says, but Rambo, how do you live? Day by day. And then he just walks off. Beautiful song at the end. I don't think how the song goes now, but yeah, it's a beautiful song at the end, and he just walks off. It pans out, end of the movie, and it was a bit it. I mean, I remember once saying this on a saying, and I think it was to do with what was going on at the world that we're in now. And I always said, I took a mick out of this scene at the end, and I said, how would I carry on? And I'd said, day by day. I just love that saying. I always use that saying. And I mean, it's a damn bid it film. When you think about it, Sylvester Stallone made it bid. Because in the same day when he did this, as I said, when I almost accidentally said Rambo 4, he did Rocky 4, he written Rocky 4, written this. This was a bid it film. It's kind of peas me off over the years. Sylvester Stallone never liked the Rambo films. Never did. 1, 2, and 3. And it's a damn shame because I like this one. When you think about it, they had a lot of spin-offs after this. And it became a total hit. So that was Rambo. First Blood Part 2. It's a damn action pumping film. I love the film. Still love it today. It's action packed. It's a damn shame they don't make films like this anymore. It's my type of film. Yes, it's not realistic, but if I want to be suppressed by realism, I watch depressing news, even though half the time that's put on. So I go for Rambo. Rambo's escapism. Big word for me. Escapism. That's Rambo. First Blood, Part 2. And I'll be back to some more action films on the way. But until then, be smart, be safe. See you later.